Thursday night, a glorious night at Brookvale, and a crunching tackle to get the round of action underway. And they're right in front of the black dot. Ilias Gutherson, short again to Holmes. He can't slide past Garrett. Great defence. And the ball has been lost. Gutherson over the top. It'll be a try. It's another one for Sloane. He's got 5 in his last 5 games.
That was so classy from the fullback.
He's making a real fist of this wing stuff, Tyrell Sloane. Laurie Flanagan, Gutherson's there again. Holmes powering onto it, ball back on the inside. A hand of Jason Saab probably saved the try. He absolutely saved the try. If he wasn't the fastest man on the planet, the Dragons scored. Laurie tangled up in defenders. Here's Little, toying with the defence. Ilias, Flanagan, Gutherson, Surley catching, passing, great hand. Sloane, he's going to go over. They would be wrapped with 6-0 at half-time. Damien Cook playing in that running lock forward role now. There's a high tackle. Will they take the shot at goal? No issues. Down inside the Dragons 10, Brooks has had a lot of involvement and played. Oh, they dropped the ball. Sloane! Look out! Sloane sprinting over the halfway. Garrick's coming. Forget about it. He's off. He's gone. Sloane's gone the distance. What happened here?
He's had the throttle at full tilt. He does move nicely, doesn't he?
Great balance.
There's a real player in him.
Here's a chance. They should score. They've got to try back. Kohler supporting Talau after a great pass to set up an overlap.
Well, Brad Fittler in the pre-game spoke to Daly Cherry Evans about unlocking Lehigh Hopewade.
He falls right down into it.
Okay, it's a moderate risky injury. It's on report. 10 metres.
Started about 2 metres inside the left post, just like that.
Six short of halfway. Cherry Evans and Brooks combining. Oh, Hopewade with pace. Kohler's there. Bentrabojevic is there. Manly are going to lock this thing up.
Anything can happen Thursday.
Little man looking dangerous here. Ilias back to where the ball is playing. Here's Jacob Little. He's through a hole. He's over the line. He got it down. But Manly in attacking kick territory here. Cherry Evans on the right edge. Sends it up out wide. He's got Saab the lead. He grabbed it out of the air and he scored, Jason Saab. How about that one?
And then Saab goes up. Oh, he twists hard on that knee. I hope he's okay.
Manly's 3rd greatest ever point scorer. He starts it on the left post. It threatened to come back, but it held its line. It's game on now. If it wasn't already. Flanagan, Gutherson, look out. Saab's got an intercept, but he just got back to recover Gutherson.
Oh, the king.
Cherry Evans, is he close enough? Here he goes. He pulls the trigger on it. He got a great strike on it, but it was out left. They flog the Titans and they back it up with a hard-fought win here from 14-0 ahead to 2018 victors. They were tested, but they've come out trumps.
Seems that was a seesawing affair, and they probably had momentum for more of the contest.
Yeah, it was certainly the 2 halves, very contrasting. I think I thought we were really good second half and really poor first half. So yeah, I felt as though we were going to get the result in the end. I thought we were coming home really well. But, there's a couple of things there, in and around our fundamentals, whether it was, penalties or errors that, really put some pressure on ourselves. But I was really proud of the group, I've got to say. We finished with no one fit on the bench, and it's our third game in 11 days, so we stayed at it to the end. We just unfortunately weren't good enough tonight.
Were all those errors down to fatigue? Do you think you have said it's been a long, 11 days?
No, I don't think so, Laura. I think, first half we were way off, and second half we were very good. That's us. That's our DNA. What we saw in the second half, and for the bulk of it, in any case. And so, that'd only be using an excuse.
Didn't help losing Jake inside the opening 10 minutes. How is he?
Well, it was category 1, so obviously won't play against Panthers, but we lost Brownie tonight, we lost Bully tonight as well, and then Tommy Talau had to come off with some issues in and around his lower leg, so I'm not sure how they will be. Hopefully a couple will be alright, but Jake won't play.
How serious were those other ones? What happened to
well, Brownie's hurt his AC joint, and Bully had a knee clash, so he couldn't continue.
I thought Lehigh was fantastic tonight, but is there any chance that Tom returns or Lachlan Croker next week?
No, Croaks won't. Croaks actually had a clean out of his knee again during the week, so he'll be about a month. So it's unfortunate. Unfortunate because obviously Croaks is he's a really valued member, so we missed him. So hopefully Josh Holloway may be back next week. I'm not sure. Corey Bedell will come back from suspension. So there's a couple there. But we're a bit beaten up at the minute.
And from Tommy, any chance?
Turbo, he's a chance. He's been running. He's done 2 runs. I think he's got another run on Saturday morning. So he's a good chance, I think.
Daily Chicken.
When you think to how the team started the year in terms of attack and how it was coming together versus how you're playing now, what are the differences you're noticing out there?
We're scoring a lot less points, and as you guys have obviously seen, and we're feeling out there, just our skills a bit off at the moment. So, we're professional rugby league players, so when our skills down, we've got to get to work. Got to get to work and clean it up. But it's not from a lack of trying. That's obviously one thing that's not missing is our effort. So just a bit of skill and detail. So we'll get to work on that next week on a longer turnaround.
Lara asked about the 3 games in 11 days that come back from Perth. Did that affect you guys in the first half? Because it seemed that second half, when you were down to 12, that's actually when you started playing your best footy.
Isn't that a bizarre thing, isn't it, how footy works sometimes? So I guess that's the credit the boys deserve when it comes to that fight. We're not giving up. We're trying to, and we are in games right until the death. So there's a lot to be said about that. But we can't sit here and use it as an excuse the last 3 games. It's 2 of the 3 were there to be won, and we just didn't come up with the right plays at the end of the game. So we're just a little bit off at the moment, and there's a lot of things that you could point your finger at. But the reality is we're just not hitting the mark on a few things, and we'll take the opportunity to have a longer turnaround and get some work done next week.
How are you feeling physically daily with the workload? And I know 3 games for everyone in 11 days is tricky, but for you, how are you feeling?
Look, our staff are top shelf when it comes to our planning. They know exactly what's coming and how to deal with it. So I feel like we've done it as best we possibly could. And I think everyone is looking forward to some time off based on the last 3 games in quick succession. But I'm feeling okay apart from just being, obviously really disappointed in the last 3 weeks. But I think our coaching staff and high performance staff have done a fantastic job to put us in a position to go out there and give it our best.
Lara, I'll just pick up on what Chez said, and this is something I want to say, and I was going to say regardless of result tonight, but that's 5 games in 25 days. The NRL's never been more demanding. And so, we talk about player welfare and well-being and so on, and I don't understand how, not only is 5 games in 25 days, if you narrow it down a bit more, it's 3 games in 11 days. And I see it's the same with other clubs. I see the Raiders, their schedule, there's a lot of, Sharks' schedule. But if I just look at ours for a minute, 3 games in 11 days, and then we lose 2 days in the air to Perth. It's a 5-hour trip each way. So there's another 2 days down, and so I don't understand it. I don't understand. The competition is demanding, and it's never been more demanding. Like we see the GPS. The GPS data is like through the roof this year, and so I've got to say I just don't understand that. So I think it's something that needs to be looked at. It's certainly not an excuse for how we play, because I felt as though we competed really hard at the end, and you don't do that if you don't have energy. But it's something that needs to be looked at. Look, I don't know how that comes about. Playing in Perth on Saturday, flying back Sunday, and then return around on a Thursday night. So we had 20 minutes in the field this entire week. So it's difficult. And I've seen other teams with it as well. So it's not just us, it's across the competition. It needs to be looked at. In the AFL, they don't have less than 6-day turnarounds. Their sport, they run a lot more, but they don't have the contact we have.
Does the club, whether yourself or the CEO or whatever, make representations to the RLPA, to the club? I mean, just so that this doesn't happen in the future?
No, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no one's going to listen to one coach or whoever. I think I'm just putting it out there that we talk about well-being and player welfare. And so this is something that needs to be looked at going forward. It's not going to change this year, of course. The draw, we've got another 3 games to 11 days during the Origin period. 4 if you play an Origin. It's something that needs to be looked at. And it's not a wings. I'm just, like I said, I see with other clubs, so it's not just us. Like I see Canberra's schedule, I see Sharks' schedule, I see Newcastle, some of their schedule going forward. It's across the board.
Chez, can I ask you, just as an aside, just on player welfare, look, Galvin's story's been a big one this week, and you know what it's like when your future's up in the air and it's dissected. Is a guy who's only a rookie and just starting his journey? Have you got any advice, or do you feel a little bit for him, just given what he's been through over the last sort of week or so?
Yeah, well, you always want to tread carefully with these sort of things, because you're never going to be fully aware of the information. But I will just say I hope he's got good friends and family around him to support him, because these things aren't easy.
Steve, do you feel like you haven't made the most of the home ground advantage? Like, I know you've had quite a few home games in this stretch. The one against Melbourne was particularly disappointing. This one much closer.
Well, I think when we played here 5 games, we won 3 from 5, so it's not the worst record, Lara. And we give ourselves every opportunity. We hit the lead with 8 to go, 10 to go, or whatever. But unfortunately, one of our players was a step offside. So, Dragons are a good side too. So they knocked off the Storm a couple of weeks ago and played really well last week. So we knew we were in for a game. But I think going back to my point around how demanding and how close the competition is, it's on every week, and we just weren't good enough tonight. But I really liked the way they kept fighting in the second half.
Just lastly, Sipley, obviously it was a big moment to lose him. Like, you can't really afford to have anyone else not available at the moment. What did you think of that moment?
It was quite a bizarre one, wasn't it? Because I thought they said it was a high tackle from Seaway to start with, and then they've looked at it and then become a hip drop, I think. Is what they ruled and why he was sitting.
I will just mention on that, I think he may have got concussed from the elbow and then might have lost his legs a bit. So
accidental, maybe.
I think it looks pretty accidental from what I saw out there. So hopefully,
but he was in the HIR.
So hopefully they can sort of see that element of it.
I know they gave you some nervous moments, but you would have been very proud of how they hung on there in the end.
Yeah, exactly right. Some brain snaps and in crucial times, but I thought just their attitude and effort was first class. I thought they just tried really hard and under some difficult circumstances. We lost a couple of players, HIA, Amy Stewart, then we lost Matty Feagai as well, so losing the winger messes things up as well. So thought they dug deep and defended really well. And they throw a lot at you, man. Like them, hit it up footy team. They throw some shape at you all the time. We've got some class players.
We started to feel like this familiar feeling, given a couple of other results we've had this year. You've had?
Yep. Yeah, I was, the 12-0 and they came back at us, but I thought we responded pretty well. There was just the effort that was there and the attitude to scramble, and we made some silly errors, and we just need to get them out. If we're going to be, go to that next level as a footy club, we need to get them out of our game, and that's what I need to, continue to drive into the group about stop putting ourselves under pressure. Opposition sides put you under enough pressure, but then we come up with some howlers.
You came down the sideline in the second half. You were pretty upset. Can you explain what was going on?
Well, I was upset because we got a player that I thought at the time was hitting the head, but it was a hip drop. And then we started play again we had 12 men, so we got penalised. So it was just a tricky one. Like, I know there was a lot going on the sideline, and to find out whether it was a HIA, because he didn't come off with a HIA, he came off with a leg injury, but the player got put on report, I think, for high contact. So it was real tricky on the sideline, and I didn't want to get involved in that, but I didn't want the play to start again with us with 12 men. I just thought, and we messed it up, Lara. We dropped the ball on tackle one, but we shouldn't have started play with 12 men.
But it was an act of foul play, right? So the 18th man should immediately be activated. Is that your
correct? Even to the point where it was a free interchange, but they started play with us with 12 men. So we've got a player injured, taken off, and then we start playing with 12. That was frustrating for me. Like, let's just wait till we get out. Why should we be penalised? But as I said, it was a tricky situation. I don't think it's happened too often, and I'm sure they'll look at it.
Just back to the Jacob Little try, how encouraging is it that it's your key men? It's Lachlan Ilias onto Kyle Flanagan, onto Jacob Little for that try. They went after the game. Like, it was in the last tackle, short side raid. Instead of things that happened in the past, they took it and he scored from it. How encouraging is that? Yeah,
they're an emerging group, that spine. Damien, Jacob Little, as you said, they're all emerging and getting combinations together, and especially probably Kyle and Lockie, first grade halfbacks. Probably it was questionable whether they could get a team around the park and do their job, but I think they're both doing a really good job as NRL halves.
What about Terrell Sloan tonight? Like, with Christian out injured, he seemed to really pick up the slack. You look at the tries and the line breaks, but he seemed to have a lot of physical carries. Is that the progression in his game that you're most pleased about? Just seeing that it's not just the flashy plays now, but he's actually doing the tough stuff as well.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He's like 94 kilos and loves to get in and do the contact and loves carrying the football. So he's just showing one hand. He could have scored, the flashy bit we see, the length of the field tries we know we can get, but also he's putting his hand up for the tough stuff at the back end of the field.
Just one on your forwards, the combination between DeBellin and Cashman. I think a few times now we've seen some short tip-ons and offloads between the pairs. Not common you see two middle forwards combining to make line breaks quite regularly, but what point of difference do they provide? Because it seems to be a recurring theme, especially early in games.
Yeah, I think Cookie probably answer that better. He's out there with them all the time.
Yeah, no, they're working really hard to train, and they're a forward pack that you can just trust and you know what you're going to get from them. And that's what they've been working on at training. They've got a lot of leg speed. We don't have the biggest pack, but they've got to have other tricks up their sleeve, and that's what they're doing. They're building some really good combinations, but they're working really hard. It's one of the hardest working forward packs I've been with, so really enjoying playing behind them.
There just all those shifts in momentum, and did it sort of feel at half time you probably didn't get enough reward for all the pressure you applied?
Yeah, it was probably a fair point. We spoke about that probably through the first punch after half time, and about 8 minutes in when they scored that try, probably took us another few sets to get back into it and take control again, but we knew we had to do a job on their big fellas, and they've also got a really good back five with a lot of speed and good feet as well, so we had to take good control of them if we wanted to get back into the game. So like Flano said, it was testing, but we were in a lead and we went on with it and got the job done when we didn't play a perfect finish to the game, but we got it done.
Did you take a bit away, Flano, from those experiences? Like, they were painful lessons, but it sort of looks like the boys are taking it on board and are starting to close out those close ones?
Yeah, well, that's exactly, we spoke about, the last couple of weeks, that if you don't learn the lesson, as a footy team, as a coach, coaching staff, that we haven't done our job. So, some of the messaging that I've been having with the team, that I'm pretty sure it's been clear and regular, and they've done a really good job to respond. So, we've got some senior players in the group that, they know before I get to them that what needs to be fixed up. So, that's a positive for me.
How's everyone getting into a huge game next week against the Roosters on Anzac Day? Fionney is obviously the biggest concern. Everyone.
I don't think we'll see him for a while. It's swollen up pretty bad. We'll have X-rays, but the doctor's first thoughts are that it's a long-term injury, real long-term injury. So that's not good. Considering that we lost Christian Tupolotto last week as well. We get Emre Gula back from suspension. Unfortunately, we lost Hamish Stewart for HIA early in the game, so he'll miss next week. But we're next man up mentality. I know you hear it a lot, but I think we're in reasonable good shape.
Anzac Day was pretty tough last year. It was a bit of a tough day for the club, do you?
Why do you always have to be the bring up
negative? Anzac Day, I just thought
you did, you're exactly right, mate. It was a bad day. We got off to Moses Surley got knocked out on the kick-off. We scored the first try, in that big day, and then we just never we stood in our goal line behind the post for a long period of time. So it's a really important game for us as a club. We've taken a lot of steps, big steps with the playing group, our attitude, on and off the field, and we're a better footy club for it. So I expect them to respond next week.
You've been in that last year's game, is that?
We haven't started yet, mate. We just finished today, but you can pretty bet you my bottom dollar that I'll bring it up at some point. Thank you.